coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Because people are scared when it comes to talking about race.
As lawmakers file legislation to ban critical race theory in K-12 schools, community members met to clear up confusion around the subject. Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Koharic. Thanks for joining us tonight. KOMU 8's Lucy Kale attended the discussion today. She joins us in the studio now to explain the reason behind today's meeting. Lucy.
The discussion today focused on what critical race theory is and what it isn't. After arguments from lawmakers about whether or not the theory should be taught in schools, community members met at Rockbridge Community Church to explain how the theory isn't being taught in schools and what lessons about race should be.
Did you ever have a history class that didn't talk about your ancestors who were Irish or who were German?
As Republican lawmakers draft bills against critical race theory in schools, community leaders say it isn't being taught at the K-12 level.
So I'm hoping that the community understands what critical race theory is better and can understand what is actually being achieved or accomplished by teaching of critical race theory at the graduate and professional school level.
Critical race theory is defined as a tool graduate professionals use to examine how laws and policies give advantages to predominantly white culture and can ignore the needs and rights of minority groups. Speaker Heather Fleming says what should and is being taught in school is cultural awareness.
How do we make sure that we are inclusive of diverse groups of people, that all of our students can see themselves represented in their curriculum?
The speakers say critical race theory legislation would ban any talk surrounding issues of oppressed groups in schools.
So we just get to the point where we have to bring in different experiences, and we have to allow all of those experiences to exist in the same space.
Moving forward, speakers hope today cleared up questions and brought about initiative for change.
Quite frankly, what I would want those individuals to do, concerned citizens, is to basically hold their legislators accountable.
Legislation will be debated starting in January.
I reached out to Republican State Representative Chuck Basie and Sarah Walsh for their comments on critical race theory legislation and have not heard back yet. State Representative David Gregory said this in a press release about his legislation banning CRT on December 1st. He said, quote, "No child should be taught that the future of their success is determined by the color of their skin. America is the greatest country in the history of the world and is not systematically racist." Today is the first of a three-part discussion on the theory. We have more of an in-depth look on critical race theory and the legislation behind it on our website, KOMU.com. Reporting in the studio, Lucy Kale, KOMU 8 News.